Welcome to the Word of the Week. Several years ago, I wrote a book called I Never Heard My Dad Say. That book was really a journey where God showed me my heart. We pray some really bold prayers, Lord, search my heart and see if there's any wicked thing in it. When I prayed that prayer, being a former Green Beret, I thought Jesus was going to speak to me about, hey, you need to keep pride in check. You're a former Green Beret. You're a former special operator. You're used to being the tip of the spear. You need to make sure that you don't steal from me. But that's not what he talked to me about. He talked to me about the invisible wounds that I carried in my heart for not having my dad in my life. My dad died when I was a young boy. And I had an orphan heart. And God wanted to heal and deal with my orphan heart. So he took me on a journey, and out of that journey came, I never heard my dad say. And in that journey, what I found is that my whole life I went looking for a dad until I found my father. Friends, you got to take a look at that book. You need to get it in your hands. It is life transforming. So many of you, like me, really wanted to just hear two phrases. I love you and I'm proud of you. And you were looking for those phrases from a father. Okay, but I had a friend just reach out to me, and in that book, as I was kind of going through the identity journey, I had this revelation hit me, and it was when God gives you, when he opens up your understanding that you're a son or a daughter, so sonship, right? Think about this. Our Father who is in heaven is a king. He is the King of kings and he is the Lord of lords. And you're his child. You're his son. You're his daughter. That means you're royalty. So think about the life that you live today. Think about where you are in life. What if all of a sudden limousines pull up, almost like the presidential convoy shows up at your front door? And all of a sudden, your neighbors are like, what the heck is going on? Is the president at my neighbor's house? Is the president at John's house? Then they come to your door and they knock on the door. And they come to you and you open the door and they say, hey, you've been requested by the king. And you're like, what king? What if they said, hey, we realized that your lineage goes back to the king. And we just hypothetically would just say, the King of England, and your lineage goes back and you're actually royalty and the king wants to bring you to the table. Think about who you are today and the life that you live. I don't know how much of that would change your life if all of a sudden they asked you, hey, you're getting ready to go into the presence of the king and you're actually royalty, and now you have to start living like you're royalty. We need you to stand up. So you get up off your couch, right? You stand up because now all of a sudden your home is flooded with these people that have just in a moment, your identity has just changed. And they come and they put a robe on you. And they begin to put royal clothing on you. What would happen in those moments in your identity? Do you think that you'd walk around with your head down like we typically do in this world, right? Because we don't understand that our Father is the Lord of lords and the King of kings, and that we actually carry his blood. So what we do is we walk around sometimes when we don't understand our identity. Maybe like me, you walk around like an orphan and you don't understand. And so you walk around, but then all of a sudden they put these priestly or princely garments on you, and you stand, all of a sudden you go from slouching to I'm a nobody, to all of a sudden these princely garments come on you, and you just stand up and you pick your head up. All of a sudden you pick your head up, and they're walking you out as they're escorting you to the presence of the king, so that you can then be informed by the king of your identity. Friends, that is the truth here. I'm here to let you know that your Father is a king, and for you to put your shoulders back, pick your head up, because the blood that flows through you is Jesus's blood. It's the Father's blood, and you are his prized possession. You are royalty. And so that limousine, that presidential convoy is outside your door right now. The only difference is you got a spiritual kingdom. You're not of this world, and the Father loves you, and you're his. You are royalty. Pick your shoulders back, put your shoulders back, pick your head up, and walk around like you are royalty. All right, that's the word of the week. I just wanted you to know that the Father who loves you, he is a king. That means you're royalty. Now start walking around with the identity that's really yours. All right, until next week, I'll talk to you soon.